Hello everyone, and welcome to Pages and Pods. In this presentation, we will be examining a book titled According to Luke, The Gospel of Compassion and Love Revealed, a collection of lectures by Rudolph Steiner, introduced by Dr. Robert McDermott. This presentation will focus on McDermott's introduction. It is the first part of several podcasts to come. Rudolph Steiner, the founder of anthroposophy, offered profound insights into the Gospel of Luke through his spiritual scientific approach, often referred to as spiritual science. In his lecture series titled The Gospel of Luke, Steiner presented the unique characteristics of this gospel, emphasizing its portrayal of Christ as a figure of compassion and love. He suggested that the Gospel of Luke presents a rejuvenated form of the spiritual achievements of Buddhism, and that the mission of Christ was a continuation of the spiritual energy of the Buddha. Robert McDermott, a scholar of philosophy and religion, has played a significant role in bringing Steiner's interpretations to a broader audience. It's essential to know that McDermott expanded on the original translation of the Gospel of Luke, GA 114, as found in the Steiner archives. McDermott's translation provides deep context to Steiner's lectures, explaining how Steiner's spiritual scientific methods shed light on the Gospel of Luke. You can imagine that McDermott's work serves as a bridge, connecting Steiner's insights based on spiritual science and clairvoyance with contemporary readers' traditional understanding of the Gospel of Luke. Dr. Robert McDermott is a scholar with a unique passion for understanding the spiritual and philosophical teachings of Rudolph Steiner. Through his books and essays, Dr. McDermott helps readers of all ages understand why Steiner's ideas matter and how they can inspire new ways of thinking about the world. In addition to his work on Steiner, Dr. McDermott teaches philosophy and religion at the California Institute of Integral Studies in San Francisco. The institute is a place where students learn to see connections between the mind, body, and spirit. Its mission is to promote education that combines intellectual learning with personal growth, focusing on how different perspectives can enrich our understanding of the world. Programs at the Institute explore fascinating topics like psychology, spirituality, and social justice, encouraging students to find compassionate ways to solve global problems. I had the privilege of studying at California Institute of Integral Studies for a semester in the 1990s, and I can personally attest to its unique and inspiring environment. Imagine a classroom where people from all walks of life come together to discuss how ancient philosophies can solve modern problems, or how science and spirituality can work hand in hand. For both young and old spiritual explorers, wondering how education can prepare them to make a difference, the Institute is a place that shows what it means to think big and connect deeply with the world around you. The Akashic Record is like a spiritual light that holds a record of past events and ideas, capturing their most important meanings. Rudolph Steiner's understanding of the Gospel of Luke is based on this idea. Steiner believed he had read this light through clairvoyance, which acts as a kind of summary of key events, thoughts, and moments of human consciousness. Clairvoyance, which means clear seeing, is the ability to perceive spiritual realities by accessing this universal record of consciousness. In anthroposophy, clairvoyance is defined as the ability to perceive spiritual realities beyond the physical senses, achieved through conscious and disciplined spiritual development. According to Steiner, this kind of clairvoyant reading is done consciously. It does not happen through channeling or in a trance, but through focused awareness and understanding. The Akashic Record has become popularized in the New Age media, but in the strict anthroposophical sense, it is described as a spiritual dimension where the essence of the past, events, thoughts, and actions is imprinted. Rudolph Steiner explained it as a kind of cosmic memory or spiritual light that transcends time and space, accessible only through heightened clairvoyant perception. For Steiner, The Akashic Record is not just a passive archive, but a living, dynamic record that captures the deeper spiritual meaning behind physical events, including the emotions, intentions, and consciousness involved. He claimed to have accessed this realm to illuminate forgotten aspects of human history and evolution, tracing back the human lineage to the ancient civilizations like Atlantis and Lemuria. Other traditions provide complementary but distinct interpretations of the Akashic Record. In Theosophy, it is seen as astral light, an energetic field where every action, emotion, and thought in the universe is permanently recorded. Theosophists emphasize its function as a tool for understanding karma and spiritual growth. Meanwhile, in modern New Age thought, the Akashic Record is often viewed as a universal database that individuals can tap into through meditation, dreams, or intuitive insight to gain knowledge about their past, personal purpose, or spiritual path. People often speak of receiving downloads as if accessing a computer cloud database. Across these perspectives, the Akashic Record is consistently depicted as a reservoir of profound cosmic wisdom, though the methods of accessing it and its ultimate purpose vary by tradition. Rudolph Steiner taught that accessing the Akashic Record requires a disciplined process of meditation and inner purification. According to Steiner, this practice allows individuals to perceive profound truths about past lives, karmic connections, and spiritual significance of historic events. Through clairvoyance and accessing the Akashic Record, Steiner envisioned Luke, the evangelist, as someone uniquely gifted in perceiving and portraying the life of Christ through vivid spiritual imagery. He believed that Luke's gospel reflects this ability to see the life and teaching of Christ in pictures, giving it a distinctive character compared to the other three gospels. This visualization, according to Steiner, has painted Luke's gospel with a special power, capturing not only the events of Christ's ministry but also the deeper spiritual truths that resonate through his life and message. Luke the Evangelist, best known as the author of the Gospel of Luke and the Acts of the Apostles, played an important role in spreading Christianity and recording its early history. Tradition says he was born in Antioch, an ancient city in Syria known for its diverse culture and intellectual achievements. Luke was a man of many talents. He was a physician, a writer, and even some believe a painter of religious icons. His medical training likely shaped the way he wrote about Jesus, focusing on his compassion, healing, and care for people in need. This made Luke's gospel unique and especially meaningful for anyone seeking hope and mercy. Luke's journey into the Christian faith started when he met St. Paul, one of the most famous apostles. He joined Paul in Philippi, Macedonia, during Paul's missionary travels, and they became close companions. As Paul's personal physician, Luke provided medical care and emotional support during their difficult journeys, which included shipwrecks, imprisonment, and persecution. Luke witnessed the events in Paul's ministry, which he described in great detail in the Acts of the Apostles, documenting Paul's tireless efforts to spread Christianity and their fateful journey to Rome, where Paul was eventually martyred. Luke's writings have left a lasting impact on Christianity. His gospel gives one of the most detailed accounts of Jesus' life, including the nativity story that many people hear at Christmas. Luke's gospel focuses on Jesus' love for the poor, the outcasts, and the Gentiles, those who are not Jewish. His second book, The Acts of the Apostles, is like a sequel that tells the story of how the church began and grew after Christ's resurrection. Together, these books provide an essential connection between the life of Jesus and the spread of Christianity through the Roman Empire. In Christian tradition, Luke is often represented by a winged ox. The ox symbolizes sacrifice, which connects to Jesus' role as both a priest and a sacrifice for humanity. The wings remind us that the message of Jesus is meant to travel far and wide, reaching all corners of the world. These symbols reflect Luke's emphasis on the universal nature of Jesus' teachings. Salvation was not just for one group of people, but for everyone. After Paul's death, Luke is said to have continued his work as a writer and evangelist. According to tradition, he remained unmarried and wrote his gospel while living in Greece, specifically in Boeotia. He is believed to have died there at the age of 84. Over time, people began to recognize Luke as a patron saint of not only physicians and artists, but also butchers, perhaps because of the ox symbol. His skills as a writer also earned him recognition as the patron of notaries, those who record important events. Today, Luke is remembered for his ability to connect the human and the divine. His writings show Christ as someone who deeply cared for the sick, the poor, and those who felt left out. Luke's stories have helped provide for centuries to understand that God's love is for everyone. His life as a doctor, storyteller, and faithful companion to Paul continued to inspire those who seek to serve others and share stories that bring hope and healing. This concludes part 1 of this discussion of According to Luke, collated by Professor Robert McDermott. Check back for the next installment in this series, where we will look at Lecture 1 in Rudolph Steiner's discussion about the Gospel of Luke in the light of clairvoyance. If you like this podcast, like and subscribe to my channel, Pages and Pods. It encourages me to continue.